right, so
Breathe
first things first.
Hold your breath.
With enterographies, they should drink this oral contrast. I forgot the solution, but they should drink one bottle 45 minutes, one bottle 30 minutes, and one bottle 15 minutes prior to their table time. And you're going to be able to see that all throughout here in the large intestines, small intestines, and whatnot. An enterography is basically an exam of the intestines. The patient should lay prone. I like to start the line on them on their back, supine, and then flip them over and position them prone. So what is my coverage here? What do you want inside your FOV? What do you want to basically cover? You want below the rectum, ideally. One moment while I plan the next few scans. Ideally, you want below the rectum, which is like right in here. And you want above the hepatic and splenic flexures of the large intestine. So the large intestine, you have the ascending colon coursing up right here, right below the liver. It turns into the transverse colon. I can't really see it very well, but it would course that way. And again, right under the spleen, it would turn and go down into the descending colon. So that's the splenic flexure right there. That's typically higher than the hepatic flexure, but that marks like the highest point of all of your intestines. So you want to ensure that you're covered above that. I'll add one extra slice into check. Add another one just for good measure. Always want to check your acquisitions or lokes before pause. That tells you how long your breath holds are. So that would have been a 29-second breath hold. I'm actually gonna do it. He's a young individual who can do that. This breath hold will be about 29 seconds. Here we go. So for this one, I'm gonna see if I can just copy it over. Look at that. Ta-da, perfect.
Breathe in. Hold your breath.
Oh, nope, not what I wanted. Did not want to copy that FOV. See the difference here?
Relax.
Big difference. These next breath holds are about 10 seconds each. Here we go.
Breathe in. Hold your breath.
See how it looks like a little GIF?
Yeah.
That's the cine stack or cine stack, kind of like cinema. This is that 3D fiesta right here, covering from rectus abdominis, the anterior abdominal wall, through all of those intestines. You can see the splenic flexure up there. There's that transverse colon we were looking for. Hepatic flexure, transverse colon, splenic flexure, and then it goes into the descending colon right there. But all of that ends at the sigmoid colon and the rectum. So you have to ensure you cover all of that really. Next one's 10 seconds. I'm gonna click this green button right here on my keyboard.
Breathe in. Hold your
I'm
breath.
gonna keep planning the next one. Bring up my new coronal. I'll use that Fiesta because I could see a lot more.
Relax.
I'll drop it here for now. I'm going to decrease that FOV a bit. I'll go to 38. I think that's an adequate FOV. One thing I can do though is to shorten up breath holds. I can decrease my phase FOV, so my phase direction is anterior to posterior. So if I check right now, let's just say I still have 66 slices. I could go from 16 would be a 23-second breath hold. But now if I drop this to, let's just say 0.7, now that same 16 are 20-second breath holds. So it saves us 3 seconds per breath hold, give or take. And the more you decrease it, the shorter those breath holds will be. 17 seconds there.
Breathe in.
I'm not going to go
Hold
this
your breath.
narrow. Probably do 0.8 just to give us 0.7 solid. I like to angle with the spine or just the
Relax.
abdomen in general. Again, same coverage. I'll cover down to the base of the rectum. Rectum would be like right in here. I'll cover just a little extra just in case. And then up top, I'll cover that splenic flexure. So right there's that splenic flexure. I'll cover a couple extra just in case, maybe. 4 times 64. I have 2 extra slices without affecting scan time, so I'll just make that 64. Shouldn't have affected scan time. And 20 seconds, yeah. I like this. We'll leave it. We'll run this one for now. It's hard to see with these purple tabs right here. Trying to protect patient information.
Breathe in. Hold your breath.
Auto scan doesn't work because there are breath holds, so. This is a fat saturation right here, so I'm gonna do fat classic.
Relax.
I prefer fat classic over fat. It's already copied. Check here. Let's see. 16. Perfect. And with these lavas, these are 3D, but you could still just copy it to your axials. Let's check our coverage. I believe the rads say we could split this one into 2 stacks too if needed. We have more coverage than we need, honestly. We have plenty extra.
Breathe in. Hold your breath.
Now for this one, these are linked. We have pre and post. Ideally, we want these to be exactly the same so we could perform something known as subtractions. So I'm just checking that here. Oblique 38.84. Oblique 38.8 and 4. Looks per slab 100.
Relax.
Versus looks per slab 100. Frequency direction right to left. Frequency direction right to left. Perfect. We have our fat saturation here and we have gadolinium clicked here, so it'll actually mark it for us right here. And now we're going to plan the coronals. This one we should also be able to copy, even though this is a 3D and the others are not. We should be able to copy this one as well. 48's a little excessive in my opinion. I'm going to drop it down to 40. Coverage looks good there.
Breathe in. Hold your breath.
Okay, so frequency direction S to I 62, oblique 41, 3.2. So we're going to check all of these again. I'm going to skip that one for now. S to I 62, oblique 41, 3.2. S to I 62, oblique 41.1, 3.2.
Relax.
S to I 62, oblique 40, 1.0, and 3.2. That looks good to me. Okay, I'm gonna give him a minute so that he can recover in between sequences here. Let's check out that T2 so far. Looks great. You can see all of the small intestines in there. Oh, and here you can see that ascending colon right there. Hepatic flexure right in there. Transverse colon would be right in here. There we go. Kind of sags down, but it's hard to see. You can see it come up to the splenic flexure right there. Descending colon would course down this way to lead to the sigmoid colon and whatnot. There's that descending colon there with the splenic flexure right there. So our coverage looks good. Everything here looks good.
Breathe in. Hold your breath.
For this coronal, this is an arterial, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that that aorta, and I'm going to place something known as a tracker on there.
Relax.
And it'll help once I get an axial as well. This one's only 1 second.
Breathe in. Hold your breath. Relax.
It's hard to find that aorta, but it's right there. Oops. Skip that one on accident, but that's okay. Waiting for an axial so it can help me find the aorta down here. I like to have it right above the renal arteries.
Breathe in.
So if we find the kidneys,
Hold
there are
your
the kidneys
breath.
right there. You can see renal arteries right in there. Those would lead to that aorta, and that's how I know that's that abdominal aorta right there. Little black speck right there. Hard to see because we're not angled with it, so we have a piece of it here and a different
Relax.
piece right there. Different piece right there, so it's a little hard to see, but you can kind of follow it down. Right there. Oops, did not mean to do that. Now that I've placed it, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to move it up for now. Let's see if I could drop these down to 10, 15. How about this one right here? There we go. Will it give us 10? Okay. Made it a lot thinner. You'll see it kind of disappeared here. You'll see it in our axial plane when we could center it anterior to posterior.
Breathe in. Hold your breath.
I wanted that T2 first. That's okay though. Abdominal aorta is right there. So when we find that tracker, there we go. Just gonna center it right there on the aorta.
Relax.
Notice it comes in a plane here. Basically tells the system, hey, start scanning once you find this. Once we're looking for that, once contrast hits here, start scanning. Because we're gonna inject and then we'll start scanning a minute after.
Breathe in.
Ideally, I wanted that T2,
Hold
not the
your breath.
T2 fat set, but I accidentally scanned the fat set first.
Relax.
Bring up a different. See, renal arteries right there. Looks like it goes that way. I thought it was that for a second. That one right there. So that's the aorta, without a doubt. In the center, right on the aorta above those renal arteries. Typically it's near the diaphragm, but I don't have much of the diaphragm in this one, so I'm gonna go right above the renal arteries here.
Breathe in. Hold your breath.
This is a tracker, and you'll see us do that in a minute. So you follow that aorta the entire time.
Relax.
And then you'll find our tracker somewhere soon. There we go. Ta-da.
Breathe in. Hold your breath.
Looks like it's off.
Relax.
Let's see how it looks here. See, I don't like that. I want to move it back closer.
Breathe in. Hold your breath. Relax.
Again, we're just giving them time to recover for that next 20-second breath hold right there. And then we'll move forward. This is our last sequence with multiple breath holds. After that, all of these lavas are single breath hold 3D sequences. So whatever you see here is the duration of the breath hold. So this first axial is 23 seconds, first coronal 17. Then we'll do the administration of contrast, and then we'll do rapid fire 18, 17, 17, 23, and 17 seconds.
Breathe in.
One thing I did not check.
Hold your breath.
S to I 64, 48. I realized I never planned my sequences. So I noticed the timing was off.
Relax.
We still have that. I don't know if I have more than one sagittal. I do not. Probably help if I angled it right here too.
Breathe in. Hold your breath. Relax.
All right, we have 7 breath holds left, each of which are about 20 seconds. I'm sorry? All right, let me check. It still looks good, man. All right, here we go. This next one's about 20 seconds. So remember, the pre's have to match the posts, so we can do subtractions, basically like a post-processing method. And if they don't match, it won't post-process. So I made sure that these are good, and then all of these are good as well. Before we administer contrast, I want to check all of my images, all of my pre-contrast images to make sure that they look good. It's that T2 fata,
Relax.
coronal, T2, it's that cine stack, and then we already checked that one, or the coronal fiesta, the first one. Like I said, he's young, he can kind of do them rather quickly. I like to give my patients time to recover, but I think he'll endure it.
Breathe in. Hold your breath. Relax.
So that splenic flexure, the hepatic flexure was down here. Want to make sure you cover below the rectum too. Right in here. Okay, we're going to administer that contrast now. You're going to feel coolness going in the arm. Okay, there are 5 rapid fire breath holds, all of which are going to be about 20 seconds, and they're going to be back to back, okay? Final stretch here. Here we go. So I'm going to click scan. I'm going to wait for my timer to count down, or because it's not counting down yet, it's looking for that tracker. Once it finds it, it's going to start counting down. Then I'm going to administer contrast from my power injector right over here. One second. We didn't prep the power injector. Let's go. Click. I'll be right back. Here, I'm gonna copy that. Let's redo that real quick. We didn't prep the power injector, we didn't arm it from inside. We're just gonna redo that real quick. Okay, so it's scanning, it's looking for that tracker. Once it starts counting down, then I can administer contrast through the power injector here. Administered the contrast. Over here on my other screen back here, you can see it's injecting the contrast followed by the saline. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in auto scan, and it'll just run all of these back to back to back, and you just coast from here. In 12 seconds, it'll start the actual scan, like the breath hold. It's waiting for the contrast to go through the arterial system right now.
Breathe in. Hold your breath.
Now here's the 18-second breath hold. Okay. So that's the arterial phase. At this point, all of the contrast went through the arterial system, such as the aorta and where the tracker's placed and whatnot. Now, next, it's automatically going to go into the venous phase. Contrast goes through the entire arterial system. Then it
Hold your
comes
breath.
back through the venous system. And at this point, with the timing and everything, we should be imaging it right when it's going through that. And that will be followed by an equilibrium phase right here, which is where there's equal contrast throughout the arterial and venous systems. And then we have 2 delayed sequences.
Relax.
Forgot what they're for, probably hemangiomas and stuff like that.
Breathe in. Hold your breath. Relax. Breathe in. Hold your breath. Relax.
Last one.
Breathe in. Hold your breath. Relax.
Obviously, you want to check your images before you take the patient off, and that's how you scan an enterography.